Alright, Shalom, Israel. This the brother Baka Wallam here with another hopeful, edifying video to the body of YAHAWAHSHI. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to YAHAWAHSHI, Bashim Rakakadash, and double honors to the apostles and elders that I learned the truth from, the men of GMS, and the brethren with the like-minded doctrine. Shalom to the Akim and to the Aqua. Right here's video. Title says giant swarms of grasshoppers devouring crops all over the western U.S. I'm gonna let the video play. It's like 5 minutes, it's not a long video. And I'm gonna bring out some scriptures afterward. Like,
I have talked about this before, but this story just got a whole lot stranger. In previous years, most Americans haven't been too concerned when giant swarms of insects have devoured crops on the other side of the globe. But now this is actually happening right here in the good old United States of America on a massive scale. The hot, dry conditions in the western half of the nation have created ideal conditions for grasshoppers to flourish, and millions upon millions of them are now wreaking havoc wherever they go. In fact, the National Weather Service says that some of the grasshopper swarms are so large that they are showing up on radar. The National Weather Service, NWS, Glasgow says the radar is lighting up, but not with rain. Instead, the radar is picking up countless grasshoppers in the area according to a post from the NWS. The grasshoppers are flying as high as 10,000 feet above the ground and are being picked up by the radar, the NWS said. I have never heard of such a thing happening in this nation in my entire lifetime. According to one news source, some of the grasshopper swarms are so dense, it can appear the earth is moving. They're arriving in swarms so dense it can appear the earth is moving. They're covering roads and fields, pelting ATV riders, and steadily devouring grains and grass to the bedevilment of farmers and ranchers. A massive population of grasshoppers is proliferating in the sweltering American West, where a deep drought has made for ideal conditions for grasshopper eggs to hatch and survive into adulthood. Agricultural production in the western half of the country was already going to be below expectations because of the endless megadrought, and now these grasshoppers are steadily devouring fields that farmers have meticulously cultivated. Not only that, grasshoppers are also eating much of what our cattle herds were supposed to be eating as well. Grasshoppers, which thrive in hot, dry weather, have been defoliating trees and competing with cattle for food, and the bugs are winning. Ranchers are selling cattle, due to poor forage conditions and a lack of feed, according to the latest U.S. drought monitor. This is not a small problem that we are talking about. On average, in 7 western states, each square yard of land contains at least 15 grasshoppers, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Around 93% of the West is in some level of drought this week, and a bizarre impact of this pernicious dry condition is the explosion of the grasshopper population. Grasshoppers have devoured so much vegetation that many ranchers fear rangelands could be stripped bare. A 2021 grasshopper hazard map from the U.S. Department of Agriculture shows each square yard of land contains at least 15 grasshoppers in parts of Oregon, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Arizona, Colorado, and Nebraska. That is nuts. I knew that this crisis was bad, but I didn't know that it was this bad. From the moment that they are born until the moment they die, these grasshoppers are constantly eating. In the past, I have used the term voracious to describe them, and that is precisely what they are. They are never satisfied, and they are always looking for new fields to ravage. One rancher in southern Oregon is absolutely horrified that they have shown up in his area in such massive numbers this year. I can only describe grasshoppers in expletives, said Richard Nicholson, a cattle rancher in Fort Klamath, a small community in southern Oregon, who once recalled seeing grasshopper bands eat 1,000 acres a day and cover the ground like snow. The insects cause innumerable headaches for farmers and ranchers, competing with cattle for tough-to-find wild forage and costing tens of thousands of dollars in lost crops and associated costs. They are a scourge of the earth. They just destroy the land, destroy the crops. They are just a bad predator. Needless to say, this is yet another factor which will have a huge impact on agricultural production this year. Food prices have already been rising quite aggressively in recent months, and this certainly isn't going to help matters. Just when you think that things can't possibly get any worse in the western half of the country, somehow they do, and many believe that what we have experienced so far is just the beginning. Scientists are telling us that there is no end in sight for the endless megadrought that is affecting so many western states right now, and that means that the grasshoppers will be with us for the foreseeable future as well. The summer of 2021 is only a couple of weeks old, but already there have been so many problems. Hopefully things will start to return to normal soon, but personally I have a feeling that a whole lot more chaos is just around the corner. This was the Survival Economist. Please like, share, leave me a comment, subscribe, and please take some time to subscribe to my backup channels. I do upload videos there too. You'll find the links in the description box. You will also find a PayPal link if you want to make a donation. Thank you wholeheartedly to all those of you who have already donated. Stay safe and healthy, friends.
Well, you see that, right? That's 3 plagues basically. There was basically a drought plague first. There was a plague of locusts or a plague of grasshoppers, and also was a famine. Because of the drought, they can't produce crops, and prices are increasing, inflation, which is going to lead to hyperinflation. As many of the elders and the apostles poured out, and the brethren, Slacky and the brethren also. So I want to get this out the scriptures. I want to go to Exodus 10. Cause this land here, this is spiritually Sodom and Egypt. The land of Egypt means bondage. So this was the land of our captivity that we served hardcore slavery in, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. We served hardcore slavery in this land, America, which is aka Babylon the Great, which is also spiritually Sodom, in this case Egypt. So I'm gonna go to Exodus 10, and verse 12. Exodus 10 and 12, and it reads, "The Lord said unto Moses, Stretch out thine hand over the land of Egypt for the locusts, that they may come up upon the land of Egypt, and eat every herb of the land, even all that the hail hath not left. And Moses stretched forth his rod over the land of Egypt, and Yahawah brought an east wind upon the land all that day and all that night. And when it was morning, the east wind brought the locusts. And the locusts went up over all the land of Egypt, and rest in all the coast of Egypt. Even grievous, Salakia, very grievous were they. Before them there was no such locust as they, neither after them shall there be such. For they covered the face of the whole earth, so that the land was darkened, and they did eat every herb of the land, and all the fruits of the trees, which the hail had not left, and there remaineth not any green thing in the trees, or in the herbs of the field, through all the land of Egypt." See, this was a plague that YAHAWAHSHI, Yahweh, sent forth throughout the land of Egypt, And I'm gonna get this to let you know this is going to happen again, which is happening now. You've seen the evidence from the video. This is going to happen. This is happening now, which is prophesied to happen in 2nd Esdras chapter 15 and verse 5, where it reads, I'm going to start at verse 5, 2nd Esdras 15 and verse 5. "Behold, saith Yahawah, I will bring plagues upon the world, sword, famine, death, and destruction. For the wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore saith Yahweh, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them to in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and the righteous blood crieth upon me, Salakia crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continuously. So that's what the men, YAHAWAHSHI, that's what we doing, going out on the highways and byways. The brothers out there with highways and byways, making the videos. We crying out continuously, complaining and vexation of this of the of the wickedness of this place. It's vexing. Just like vex lot. You know, reading on, and there saith Yahweh, I will surely avenge them and receive Salaki and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Here is the point. Behold, no, Salaki, that's not the point. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. Here's the point. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and I will destroy all the land thereof. See, that was the point. He gonna smite Egypt with plagues as before. Was America's, aka Babylon the Great, aka America, which is also um Egypt, also spiritually Egypt, has been smite with plagues as before. And I'm gonna read on. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundations of it shall be smitten with plagues, and the punishment of Yahweh shall bring upon it. It's like, let me read that over. At 2nd Esdras 15:12, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that Yahweh shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with fearful constellation. So, yeah, that's what's going on. The people, the farmers are mourning, the people are mourning. They're gonna definitely be mourning once the reality hit that this famine is gonna hit, this food famine. Because it's already famine over there from water. It's already famine of water because there's no water there. So it's a drought, which is also a famine. So I definitely wanna go into this word blasting. I wanna get in that too, but yeah, let me jump to that first. It says, verse 13 again, 2nd Ezra 15:13, they that till the ground shall mourn, and their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with fearful constellation. I want to see what that blasting, what that means in the blue letter. So we're going to go to the blue letter Bible and find out what blasting means. So I think this is a perfect scripture. Deuteronomy, yep. Deuteronomy 28:2, and it reads, Yahweh shall smite thee with a consumption, and with a fever, and with inflammation, and with an extreme burning, and with the sword, and a blasting, and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish. So I'm gonna read this other translation, the New Living Testament, or the New Living Translation, Salakia, a New Living Translation, and it reads, Yahweh will strike you with wasting diseases, fever, inflammation, um, scourging, scourging heat. Scorching heat and drought, and with blight and mildew, and these disasters will pursue you until you die. So this is a curse. Deuteronomy, it's the curses that was placed upon our people, but it's also gonna apply to our enemies, which is in. Let me get that real quick. Deuteronomy 30. And we're gonna come back to it. Deuteronomy 30:7, and it reads, "And Yahweh, thy power, will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecute thee." You know, so these are the curses which is placed on us, and that is said in Deuteronomy 28. These are placed upon our enemies. You know, through in this time. That's what's happening. All these curses are going to be placed upon our enemy. And you see, Deuteronomy 28:27, it reads, "The Yahweh will smite thee with the blot of Egypt." It's like 22. Yahweh shall smite thee with a consumption, and with a fever, and with an inflammation, and with extreme burning. That extreme burning is that scorching heat and drought. That's bringing a drought, that scorching heat over there in the western part of the U.S. is going on now, western part of America. Um, and with the sword and with blasting. So over here we gonna go into that word, what it means in the blue letter, what blasting means.
Strong's H 7711. Shedefah. Shedefah. And second entry, Shedafon. Shedafon.
Okay, it means blighted or blasted thing, blighted, blasted. That's the definition. So we gonna go into what blighted means. Blight.
Light.
The first definition, it says have a severely detrimental effect on. So this is very detrimental. Like this drought, the locusts, that's extreme heat over there. All those plagues are very detrimental to society because it's going to increase. It's going to bring eventually. It's inflation, price increase, and eventually it's going to be a famine. It's going to be hyperinflation. It's going to be a famine. It's going to be all out chaos, just like it says in the end of that video. That things may, I forgot how he said it. I might go back and just see what he said, but I think something to the effect that things are going to get worse. We'll go to the second definition: infect with blight. Infect, and it says plants in parentheses with blight. So to infect, these shrivel, wither, blast, infect, wither, shrivel, blast. Those are similar words. So you see that going on, like the plants is over there, they're shriveling up because there's no water, there's a drought. They're being infected, and then also whatever plant life is there is getting infected by the locusts or the grasshoppers over there. So what is that? That's a severe detrimental effect of these. That's a severely detrimental effect. So that's what it means, blasting. Um, going to the what's it like it? Going into Deuteronomy 28 and 22, where it says, Yahweh shall smite thee with a consumption and a fever and an inflammation and with extreme burning and with the sword and with blasting and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish. So that blasting means, that's severe, or blight. It means what? Bear with me for a little bit. Salakia, bear with me. Yeah, severe detrimental effect. Have a severely detrimental effect. A severely detrimental effect on. That's what blight or blasting means. Severe detrimental effect on, and that's exactly what's going on. And they said they see no the video. The guy said they see um no end in sight or something of that effect. Let's see what it says.
And costing tens of thousands of dollars in lost crops and associated costs. They are a scourge of the earth. They just destroy the land, destroy the crops. They are just a bad, bad predator. Needless to say, this is yet another factor which will have a huge impact on agricultural production this year. Food prices have already been rising quite aggressively in recent months, and this certainly isn't going to help matters. Just when you think that things
That's
can't
gonna lead into hyperinflation. It just said that the food price was already increasing before this plague. Basically, now it's gonna be it's gonna lead into hyperinflation. More or less. I'm gonna let it play a little bit more.
get any worse in the western half of the country. Somehow they do, and many believe that what we have experienced so far is just the beginning. Scientists are telling us that there is no end in sight for the endless megadrought that is affecting so many western states right now, and that means that the grasshoppers will be with us for the foreseeable future as well. The summer of 2021 is only a couple of weeks old, but already there have been so many problems. Hopefully things will start to return to normal soon, but personally I have a feeling that a whole lot more chaos is just around the corner.
Yup. See, that's what he said. That's why I wanted to point out. He said that the more or less, it's gonna be a whole lot more chaos, and it's gonna get worse. Just like the scripture said, this is the beginning of sorrows. It's gonna get worse, man. Um, I think that's all I have to bring out. I just want to focus on, um, and I can read this also in Second Esdras 15, um, verses 14. Woe to the earth and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. And man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So that that's martial law is gonna come, and just like the video says, it's gonna get more chaotic over here. People, due to this due to the famine, shortage of food, hyperinflation and everything like that. You know, people gonna be rioting for food, invading each other's houses. You know, fighting against one another. That's happening now. You know, they just had this demonstration of who I think is KKK. A group of KKK members marched through some part of Philadelphia or something like that. You know, and then they had this other group, this nonetheless what was it, Rise of the Moors or whatever. This whatever they be agent provocateurs, or whatever the case may be. That's gonna just and that NFAC, that not effing around crew or coalition, whatever they are, and with that guy that just got arrested for shooting some cop, all that's gonna be lead to you know, people standing up, nation rising against nation, people standing up with swords in their hand, just like it says here, Second Esdras 15:15, for the sword and destruction draweth nigh, when people shall stand up and fight against another, and with swords in their hands. These modern day swords is the gun. But I hope the body of Yahweh Bashim and Yahushua will edify. I want to say, call Holayim La, Yahweh Bashim, Yahushua Bashim Rakakadash, and the water Yahweh Bashim, Yahushua Bashim Rakakadash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua. I want to say, Shalom, Wa, Abba, Baba.